Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to these YouTube streets. Good morning, everyone. It's a few minutes to 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a few minutes to 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up. I just got up. And, I've been up for a little while. Let's put it like that. And I turned on the YouTube. And that's why this title is called Mungu Baba. Mungu Baba is the same thing as saying Father God in English and Papa Dios in Spanish. Mungu Baba, Father God, Padre or Papa Dios. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the chat. This is your homegirl. 914, which is the county of New York, coming to you with another live video. It is the BT1000. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to these YouTube streets. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to these YouTube streets. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's a few minutes to 3 o'clock. It's a few minutes to 3 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know, certain things. I know Bishop is live right now. I know Bishop at School Food is live right now. And I heard him just screaming and hollering over there. Shout out to the bishop. Shout out to the bishop. He's got a right to say what he's saying. He's got a right to say what he's saying. Yeah, we got a lot of people in this sector who believe that it's okay for them to, have a lot to say. They got a lot of opinions, but they won't camera up. They won't camera up. I'm not cammed up right now, but that's okay because everyone in the sector knows what I look like, and my avatar is up there, and my avatar looks just like me. Because the person that designed my avatars made all my avatars designers to look like me. It's all in my image. A shout out to the chat. Who that is? Let's read the chat. Kiss my cheeks. Let's kiss my cheeks. You hear Bishop over there? He wants you to camera up. Yeah, Bishop, you made Bishop upset with you. I don't know what you did. The only thing I can say is, Father God, Dios mío, Mungu Baba. Yeah, shout out to the chat. It's going to come a time where people are not going to be able to hide who they are. You saw Mr. Oates. He recently had a camera slip. And it seemed like right after he had the camera slip, people were more understanding. You know what I mean? I fought against a woman in the sector who refused to camera up. So what happened was, before she and I fell out with each other, she was friends with me a little bit. And she made the mistake of sending me a photo of herself, what she looked like. And when she started going after me and attacking me, what I did, I posted her picture all over these YouTube streets. So anytime that she came with a video or anything, I would remind her what she looked like. That shit was funny as fuck. But she had no business fucking with me. I told her to leave me alone. This bitch stalked me for almost 3 years on this app. And only recently did she become quiet. But it's only a matter of time before she comes back. Because she came in this chat, in my chat, twice. And I removed her ass and I banned her ass from coming over here. I don't play with trolls. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. See, back when I first started on YouTube, anytime you created let's say you created a profile for yourself. You created one, and let's say that you became fans with someone, you was friendly with someone, you know, you stay close to that person or whatever the case may be, but it has been proven that people in the sector don't know how to keep it down the line, keep it down the middle, keep it cute. So all camera slips will be happening, you know. So gonna have to camera up one day. Some sweet day, you're gonna have to camera up. Cause because I remember a few months ago when people were arguing with each other, and that's the first thing they did. Now, the person that was comfortable cameraing up, they cameraed up, and the other person remained behind the avatar. But sooner or later, there was usually a camera slip. Shout out to the chat. Mostly with the Kwamites. Mostly. And what I found out in this sector, if you argue with people or, just speak your mind openly, freely, and people don't agree with you, they're gonna have something to say. And that's a natural fact. That's an actual natural fact. They're going to have something to say. They're going to say something. They're not going to remain silent. They're not going to remain quiet. Shout out to the chat. That's the way it is in this sector. The YouTubes. Man, how many people went live yesterday? Quite a few. Quite a few people went live yesterday. But thank God we live in America, and thank God we got the First Amendment where we got the freedom of speech. But back in the day, it wasn't that way always. Some people didn't have freedom of speech, even though they were born in this country and their ancestors were born in this country. And I think I talked about Eartha Kitt, and I think I talked about Billie Holiday. How both women spoke up at different times in history, and how certain people in authority decided to shut them down. Eartha Kitt had to run away from this country. She stayed in Europe for years and years. And then, of course, the other one got caught up in a hospital bed and died in a hospital bed handcuffed to the bed railing. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Earth the Kid and Billie Holiday. Two brave women. Both of them are now deceased. But while they were here, they were hell on earth. And I hope if there is an afterlife that they are at peace, in power. Shout out to the chat. So good morning, good morning. Hey, what's up, Jenny's? What's up, Jenny? Yeah. This video is not going to be very long. But yeah, I looked on the YouTubes and Bishop is over there going off. And I haven't heard him that livid in a long time. I mean, his voice is raised. He sounds like he's very excited. He's going in. He's playing a video of someone talking. And then I this mentioned kiss my cheeks. I said, damn. Oh my God. He's not going to stop neither. Because he feel that people in the sector wronged him. He really believed that. He believes that Sis made a lot of money, doing certain things. I guess that's the way it is in this sector. When people can find an opening to do what they need to do for their channels, that's exactly what they do. And I'm telling you right now, I don't see me being monetized at all. Because once you get monetized, you no longer have the freedoms that you once had. And I don't feel like going through all that crap. You know what I mean? Because anything that YouTube doesn't agree with, you might have some issues. You might have some difficulties. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Because the other day, like I said, Anthony had a video going, and there was someone in there that had came over there to cause problems and strife. And he was able to handle the situation, but let's say he wasn't in a position where he could have done the stuff he did to prevent the bullshit that was getting ready to happen over there. See, he was able to stop that person. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Lovelace. Good morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a few minutes to 3:00. I don't gotta worry about leaving about what. I better leave here early, about at least a couple of minutes to 6. I'm getting on the bus. I'm not doing no walking today. Today is Thursday. So I just don't feel like all the other Jiminy Jammy this morning. Let me see. Let me see what Lovelace is talking about. Hold on, Lovelace. Hold on, Lovelace. Thank you to everyone that double tap the screen for the like. You all are appreciated. Yeah, shout out to them. They appreciate it. Yeah. I like that message, so I'm a pin it. I'm gonna pin it so everyone can see. Double tap the screen. Coco Tasso. Coco Tasso, that screen. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Or should I say it in Swahili? Should I say it in Swahili? I was listening to a video last night before I went to bed, right? And the man was speaking in English, but he was speaking in Spanish too. And I said, "Oh, yeah, it's time for me to brush up the Spanish a little bit." The Swahili is okay. The Swahili is going okay, but I need to brush up on the Spanish as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I mix both English, Swahili, and Spanish together. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, man. Yeah. Bishop is live right now. He upset. People are upset at him. And I can understand. I can understand where he coming from. I clearly understand. Yeah. It's not easy. Like if you was to create a channel, it wouldn't be easy for you to do certain things, you know what I mean? Because even with me not being monetized, there's certain things that you put out there and the YouTubes will come in and be like, hey, we put it on unlisted because of X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, we don't think this is appropriate for your audience. So what they do, they remove the video. I mean, you being the creator can still see the video, but the video, if you was to go to another device or tell someone else to look it up, they won't be able to find the video. And there's certain things that YouTube doesn't allow. But, you know, I find it very interesting that certain people got freedom of speech. I mean, total freedom of speech, and others do not. I find that very weird, creepy, and interesting. Damn. Can you feel what I'm saying? Can you see the frustration? Because there was a video I had put out there. It was a short video, and it was talking about eating disorders. It was talking about bulimia, and it was talking about anorexia. Carpenter, she died because of what she went through with anorexia, and it affected her heart. Amy Winehouse died from alcohol poisoning, but before her alcoholism or drug use, she was someone that practiced bulimia. And both of these eating disorders affect the heart. It affects the muscles around the heart. It affects certain organs within the human body. And I had put it out there about these eating disorders, and YouTube took it down. They didn't want people to know. They're like, people need to know it on their own. But I'm saying, because a lot of people don't know how Karen Carpenter died. They don't know how she died. They don't know how she lived. Only recently, in the last few years, have people talked about anorexia. They didn't talk about it during her time of living. I remember when I was 17 years old and they institutionalized me for self-mutilation. And one of the things that they did talk about was the eating disorder. See, I didn't have an eating disorder. There was other patients in there that had it. And they would talk about Karen Carpenter. They would talk about her in a way that if you didn't know any better, that's all they knew about her. A shout out to the chat, because when they did her autopsy was very important to certain people in the medical field. They wanted that information. They wanted that information. They wanted the information and the details of her autopsy. Shout out to the chat. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that when certain celebrities pass away for certain reasons, that their autopsy results or the details of the autopsy becomes public knowledge. And certain people that are in forensics, they actually use those results or those details as a part of their learning, as a part of their getting used to learning about the forensics and the autopsies and the other stuff that goes into dealing with dead bodies, the dead. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. A lot of people are more interested in dead people than they are in those that are living. And it's been my experience to see all the hoopla, because I remember when Whitney Houston was living, how much people praised her singing, how much people was in awe of her talent, what they did after the woman could no longer perform as she did. And then I remember when she passed away. And once her autopsy report came out, once it became public knowledge, people were more interested in how she died than how she lived. People were more interested in hearing about her heart problems. People were more interested in hearing about how her addiction might have caused her death, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. I believe that when she died, it wasn't enough for them. So they went after the daughter, and the daughter passed away. Because believe it or not, Whitney Houston comes from a very interesting family. She comes from a very interesting bloodline, because Whitney Houston's ancestors are Native American, and they were here when the Pilgrims first arrived. They were here when the Pilgrims first came to the shores of North America. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the chat. And these people suffered at the hands of the Pilgrims. And history has recorded this. So these people are they are in history. So they knew who she was. They knew who Bobby Christina was, and they couldn't have it. They don't like the fact that these descendants were here. Shout out to the chat. bloodlines have a lot to do with a lot going on in real life. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah. Yeah, man. It is crazy. You would think that these things are not real, but these shits is real, man. When motherfuckers can trace back your family lineage to when the Pilgrims first came, now you know that they doing something. They doing something they ain't got no business doing. Just like the other day, I was looking through the YouTubes and I seen a picture of a black family. And this was like after the Civil War. That picture had to have been taken a few years after the Civil War. But anyway, in the picture, there was a little girl, a little child who was posing for the camera, but she was also making hand signals. And they wanted to know what those hand signals meant. Shout out to the chat. They wanted to know why she was making those hand signals. They're very obsessed with black people. You ever notice that? The same people that don't like us, that can't stand the ground we walk on, are very obsessed with everything about us, what we know, how much information about the truth has actually passed down from generation to generation to generation. You know how much they hate the fact that there are some people that are still alive that remember Jim Crow? They hate that. They want to bury the evil that America has done in this country. They want to bury it. They're going to have to wait a few more generations in order to bury it all. But, you know, in the meantime, they're doing it. They're trying to do it. So we got 2 in the building. We got 4 likes. We got 2 in the building. We got 4 likes. Yeah, this video is not going to be very long. So I say to you, good morning. Shout out to the playback. Shout out to the replay. We're going to say good morning in our usual way. Habari za hasaburi. Karibu ni umbani kewangu. Twendi zetu kuja na mimi kula chakula miji baridi. Yeah. Kuvuta kiti kachini. Unakaribishwa. Jifurahishe. Jifurahishe. Yo, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to these YouTube streets. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my chat. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my life. You are welcome. You are welcome. Pull up a chair. Sit down. Come with me. Come with me to get something to eat. Yo, shout out to the chat. You're welcome. Yeah, that's it, man. That is it. That is it. That is it. Yo, and it just doesn't pay to make certain people angry. Because they don't forget it. People are very sensitive to their feelings being hurt or for people to be making fun of them. And, you know, it's coming down to it where, you know, everybody's going to have to, you know, reveal who they are sooner or later. And I don't mean by just cameraing up. I mean like totally. Yo, shout out to the chat. And that's the reality, man. That's a reality. Oh man. You know, I found my jelly beans before I went to bed. I found my jelly beans before I went to bed. I opened up the bag, right? And I ate a few of the jelly beans. And the next thing I know, I was knocked out sleep, because I drank the wine earlier. And the wine put me to sleep for hours. I was out. Thank God I didn't have nothing on the stove. Thank God I didn't have nothing in the fucking oven. Thank God I after I drank that wine, when I decided to lay down, because I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that, because I'm not a real wine drinker, so I already knew how the body was going to react. It was going to get happy, and then I went to sleep. Shout out to the chat. I got up later. And I went on the YouTubes and I visited different channels, and I listened to the content, because there's some people that I listen to, they're not even in this sector. They're not even in the sector. You know what I mean? So I like to leave this sector and go to other sectors and listen to that. So shout out to the chat. What's up, Fancy? Yeah, what's up? So we got Kiss My Cheeks, we got Lovelace, we got Jenny, and got Fancy. Yo, shout out to the chat, shout out to the chat. Shout out to these YouTube streets. This is your home girl, Barbosa. 914 Wishes, the County, New York. We out. Until later on, I guess I'll see y'all later on. I hope everyone has an awesome day. I hope I go on a work ticket this morning, because I'm not leaving here until like a few minutes to 6 o'clock anyway to get on the bus. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Shout out to the chat. I'm out. Peace. One.